Hello and welcome to my review of the ORKS Dakkajet. This model will set you back £45. In the kit you're able to build one of 4 of the different flyer variants for the Ork army, either this Dakkajet, a Blitzer bomber, a WASBomb blaster jet or a burner bomber. They're all slightly different in their own ways. The Blitzer bomber has the wings upright, much like the blaster jet, whereas the bomber burner has the wings outstretched. I would love to see either Forge World or Games Workshop come out with the Ork Air War Mega Bomber at some point. That would be the icing on the cake. Have that kit that maybe you could build 2 different variants of it, like a Super Fortress or a Mega Bomber, and then this kit as well. That would be the icing on the cake. It really would be awesome. Anyway, we're not here to talk about the Mega Bomber, we're here to talk about the Dakkajet. We will have a look at the detail. I haven't got the spare parts with me, but you can just imagine that there are going to be the spare parts for the WASBomb blaster jet and the bombers and bombs and things like that. I think this kit is quite brilliant. Yes, it's £45. It would be nice to have it as 40, but at least it's not 50 like some of the other flyers, like the Hive Crone and the Corvus Black Star. But anyway, let's have a look at the detail. It comes on this flying base. You've seen these flying bases before. If we just take this off, if we can. Kind of goes on 2 ways. One is it's dive bombing, or the other way where it's lifting off. But when it's lifting off, you can sort of position it so it's flying horizontally. You've got this canopy, which I haven't glued for obvious reasons, but yeah, there's a fair amount of detail. There's rivets. It's smaller than I expected, this little flyer. You've got the pilot there holding on for dear life, probably going as fast as you possibly can. You've got these bolted on spikes. You've got the big shooters and more big shooters. It's just a proper fighter, isn't it? Even though most of the Ork vehicles and things look cobbled together, this kind of isn't. It's very uniformed in its paneling. The only makeshift areas are this nose part and the you know, even the engines are well even the thrusters are well situated, and this massive thruster at the rear too. And then you've got this hook thing, which I guess hooks onto other planes. It's like a sky anchor, isn't it? And the way it sort of lands, there's no wheels or landing gear as such. You've just got this long ski foot on the base. But yeah, it's really cool looking. I really like this. It's, you know, normally Ork vehicles look like they're hammered together, but this actually looks quite regimented in terms of the engineering for Orks. I'm very impressed, you know, compared to the usual flyers and rocks and things that they typically use. Anyway, that's the Dakkajet. Let's do some size comparisons. So I do have a WASBomb blaster jet, which is a little bit bigger because they've inverted the wings. And they've put this extra cupola thing on the rear, and then the big cannons at the front, and they've changed something with the engine and given it sort of a nose cone. Then they've put another weapon on the bottom. There's just a lot going on compared to the Dakkajet. If you were thinking, oh yeah, there's also these thrusters on the wing tips as well. Yeah, there's just a lot more going on with the WASBomb blaster jet than the Dakkajet. If you were thinking of which one to go for, the WASBomb's, you know, going to be more expensive points wise and does a lot, whereas this is just a fighter, mainly air-to-air combat. Compared to, I don't know, other Ork models that I've got, such as I've just got the Squig Buggy here, but that gives you a size impression. You know, it is a flyer at the end of the day, and typically flyers in 40k are much bigger than their sort of land counterparts. So there you go. Although it's sort of £15 more than the Squig Buggy, you do get you know, a large model for your money. Let's just compare it to my knob. Here it is. So yeah, the knob is bigger than the Ork Boy that sat in there, but yeah, it's going to be above most of your other units compared to the Ork Boy right there, and the War Boss So yeah, we'll put it on its base and then compare it to, like, I don't know, Space Marine, Primaris, and the Slimarbo. So yeah, it's going to be raised up above the models anyway. It's going to be a bit of a target, hard to hit because it's a flyer, unless you're packing some anti-air in the form of like a hunter or stalker. But there you go, I thought I'd just show you that. Primaris don't have any flyers for themselves at present, but you know, Space Marines do have a few in the form of the Stormhawk and the Storm Raven. But it's nice to see Orks having 4 variant of flyers. It'd just be pretty cool if they had something that could transport Orks as well, even like a blimp. I know it's a slow moving blimp and they'd want to get it faster, but that would be something for the future, some kind of Chinook, or yeah. Anyway, there's the size comparisons. Hope they've helped. Let's dive bomb into the rules for this model, and predictably you'll find the Dakkajet in the flyer section, of which I've already mentioned there are 4 of the flyer units. It's a power points cost of a 7 and a match play points cost of 88, making it the cheapest out of all those flyers. And what do you get for this 88 points then? Well, it's one of these models, of course, because it's a vehicle, whereby its remaining wounds affects its movement speed, its ballistic skill and attacks. So it starts off with 12 wounds, and if it's got between 7 and 12, it can move between 20 and 60 inches. Its ballistic skill is 5+, and it's got 3 attacks. Between 4 and 6 wounds, its movement drops to between 20 and 40 inches, ballistic skill 6+, and attacks D3. And when it's only got 1 to 3 wounds, its movement speed drops all the way down to 20 to 25 inches, ballistic skill 6+, and it only gets 1 attack. The rest of its stat line is as follows: weapon skill is 5+, strength is 6, toughness is 6, as I say, 12 wounds, leadership 6, and a save of 4+. A Dakkajet is a single model equipped with 4 super shooters. The super shooter is a range 36 inch, assault 3, strength 6, AP -1, and a damage of 1. That's better than a big shooter because it's got the strength 6 instead of 5, and it does have an armor penetration of -1. War gear options. This model may take 2 additional super shooters. So it's already got 4 super shooters, of which you can see, but it can take an additional 2. I'm not sure where you're going to put them. Maybe if I got another set it would become apparent, but on my model at least you can only see that it's got the 4 that it's equipped with. I would take an extra 2, you know. 4 of them, you got 12 shots, but 6 of them, you've got 18 shots there of strength 6, which is horrific. Abilities: Dakka-Dakka-Dakka, airborne. This model cannot charge, can only be charged by units that can fly, and can only attack or be attacked in the fight phase by units that can fly. Hard to hit. Subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks that target this model in the shooting phase. All the Dakka. Add 1 to hit rolls for this model's attacks in the shooting phase if all of those attacks target the same unit that phase. Now that's amazing. That means that its ballistic skill then goes to 4+. Supersonic. Each time this model moves, first pivot it on the spot up to 90 degrees. This does not contribute to how far the model moves, and then move the model straight forwards. Note that it cannot pivot again after the initial pivot. When this model advances, increase its move characteristic by 20 inches until the end of that phase. Do not roll a dice. And finally, crash and burn. If this model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll a d6 before removing it from the battlefield. On a 6, it crashes in a fiery explosion, and each unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. Keywords: Ork, vehicle, fly, and Dakkajet. So there you go. That is the rules part of this review. I think that this model is really cool. I like the kit as well. Having the choice of building 4 different flyers is amazing. It's very unique in that it only has 1 weapon type, but it's great that you can choose to affix 6 super shooters with it. Just don't expect it to inflict that much damage on heavily armoured units or vehicles. For that you want something like the Blitzer bomber, which can drop a boom bomb. The burner bomber is fantastic for lightly armoured troops that rely on their cover saves, and the Wazbomb blaster jet is just immense against armour. So it's kind of your cheapest anti-air with a little bit of anti-infantry vehicle. Of course, there are other flyers that do lots more damage to vehicles, or have missiles or rockets as well as just the main guns. So it's a bit of a niche. At least you know what you're getting yourself in for if you opt to pick one of these in your game. What do you guys think of the Dakkajet? Be really interested to find out your thoughts and opinions. Do you always take one? Do you take them? Do you take a couple to protect a bomber, or do you just not go for Ork flyers at all because of you know, their famed terrible ballistic skill? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below as always. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. For Gork and Mork.